Okay, so I had basically 90% win rate on Mundo. I'll show you the evidence. So this is Silver 3, MMR. This is my main account. You see like Diamond and Plat. Season 6 is when I stopped playing, kind of like seriously. Right now I'm messing around as well, but I mean, whatever. That's my main account, so you can see 80% in here, 100% in here, 100% in here. Okay, so, right, so I don't know if I'm gonna link it in the description below, but whatever. Like if real League of Legends coaching top lane was actually real, this is what it would sound like. So basically, I pull up like a, okay, so fundamentally what we're doing, we are abusing engagement optimized matchmaking system. All right, so we are operating on two assumptions, right? Number one, engagement optimized matchmaking exists, and two, it's not a skilled game, it's a card game. So it's all about the champ and team composition, right? So we're basically saying League of Legends as a game is a card game, right? So team composition and the champions that you're picking determines whether you're gonna win or not by a lot more than skill, okay? So these are two assumptions, because remember, like there are people in the comments, like you probably see people responding to comments, they're like, no, the champion doesn't matter. There is no such thing as losers and winners queue, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm telling you, right, skill does matter. I'm talking like, at what point, so let's ask the question, right? At what point does skill become a factor? My guess is mid Grandmaster. Before that, skill is not really a factor. It's all about the champion having an OP composition and playing a lot of games. So you have to understand that mid master would be like 0.001 of all accounts. That means that 99.99% of the game is actually brain dead. It's a card game. Okay? Now, people tell you, oh, blah, blah, like, it's a card game. Okay, it's a card game. All right? So, and of course, we're assuming that engagement optimized matchmaking exists. Okay, so in order of priority, the most important things are, number one, you should play, like I'm talking brain dead climbing. Let's call this brain dead climbing. Brain dead climbing. I also call it jerking off, top lane, and winning games. That's kind of what I refer this to. Now we're going to discuss the play to develop skill maybe later. I'll talk about it maybe later, okay? But I mean, most of League of Legends is just a card game and you are just climbing. Okay, so number one is you need to play OP bullshit, right? So we're talking Mundo, we're talking Singed. This is top lane. I'm talking just specifically for top lane. Urgot, Garen. What else is brain dead? Gragas is brain dead. In certain scenarios, Nasus, if you don't have hard counter, well, he's kind of hard to play, honestly. Like, Nasus fits very... Nasus is a niche champion. Like, Mundo is absolutely brain dead shit, right? Poppy is another one. Volibear. Well, Malphite is kind of... No, I'll put him in here, but he's niche champion. You can play Amumu as well. Ramos is a good one. Ramos is also very good right now. Okay? So, not only do you need to play champions, you have to play specific champions that build specific items, which are tank items. Alright, so we're talking Ninja Tabi. We are talking Frozen Heart. What else is like completely Radiant Omen, Warmog. These items are just super cheap and overloaded. They're just super cheap, just beyond stupid. Okay, so number one, you need to play OP bullshit. Number two, you need to dodge shitty compositions. Now, my dodge rate, I'm talking like, okay, let's say you are picking Mundo, they're picking Shaco, Janna, Ashe, and mid lane is like, mid lane is Victor, okay? And you look at the enemy team and they have Malphite, well, let's say not Malphite, let's say Gragas, jungle Lulu, mid lane Sylas, bot lane Twitch, support Nautilus. You're gonna get steamrolled. You're gonna get it's not even gonna be playable, right? So when you would look at the composition of your team and the enemy team, you need to dodge shitty compositions. If they are not playing OP champions, they are not serious. They're not serious, right? Okay. Another way of I'm looking at this, I'm calling it in poker, right? In poker, you have a term which is called looking for fish, right? So fish in poker are players who have no idea what they're doing. They buy into some kind of bullshit and they play with the real money. So they are easy wins for you, right? So effectively what you're doing in here, you are fishing for players who are fish, right? Fish is free elo, right? So you pick Mundo, they pick Riven. You pick Lulu, they pick Lulu in jungle, they pick, they pick Shaco, right? Your mid laner is decent, let's say Aurelion Sol, brain dead, right? Champion, completely brain dead champion, right? And they pick Zed, all right? Like Zed, unless he gets fed, or Akali, right? And this guy doesn't know how to play Akali. Unless he's like gets fed, Akali is kind of useless, right? As a champ. Now, bot lane, your team has Twitch and Nautilus, or Alistair. Enemy team has Janna and Ashe. You are playing against fish. It's a free win for you. So you are constantly shuffling the cards, trying to find players that are just wanting to lose the game and give you their LP. Does that make sense? Right? So if you look at your team and you think that these guys are fish, they want to give their LPs, because you see, how to say, people that are serious, they play serious shit. Like I'm serious, I want to win the game, I spam Mundo right now because he's overpowered. Right? I no longer buy into this bullshit of League of Legends is skill, League of Legends is like practicing, CSing matters, all of that is complete bullshit. It's a card game. You pick the best cards, you win. That's it. And people who think otherwise is gonna be giving me their LP. As you can see in here. Okay, as you can see, like, I mean, 90% win rate. You can say, oh, he's playing silver. Well, go ahead and win the game in silver 100% of the time. Go ahead, show me how you do it, right? What's his name? The coach Cortis could not even win 2 games in bronze. And I'm like playing upper silver. There is one which is a gold MMR, right? This one I think is gold MMR. You see? 100% win rate. On Mundo. Because you see, I understand this strategy and how the system works. Because this can be abused. And I'll tell you how. Okay? Okay, so we cover tanks. So these two are by far the most important. So you're picking brain dead shit and you are dodging. You're looking for fish. You're basically looking for players that are willing to give you their LP for free. Right, people that pick like full AD comps, people that pick like Riven in silver. I mean, nobody can play Riven in silver. If you're serious about playing Riven, you gotta have like 5 years of experience on her. The champ is just so difficult to pull off. It's just crazy. And it's so easy to screw up as a Riven. So easy. Like, I just played a game against Riven, I think. And I just murdered her. Like, yeah, look, you see? Like, dude, like, what are you gonna do? in silver as Riven. And he doesn't even main Riven. Do you see? This guy is a fish, pure fish. What he wants to do, he wants to give you his LP. So you want this guy to be on the opposite side, not on your side. Okay? So this is done. Next one is also very, very important. You need to have low damage, right? No kills. Basically, you want to abuse engagement optimized matchmaking to the level where it does not count you as a good player. I noticed, like I watched some streamers and they do not include assists as part of KDA. I don't think the system actually considers assists as KDA, right? So if you look at my KDA without assists, it's dog shit. It's just so bad, right? And the reason why you want it to be very bad, you want to have shitty farm, right? And like basically you want the system to think that you are a scrub, right? Why is that important? Because remember, we are operating inside engagement optimized matchmaking system, right? If it thinks that you are a shitty player, it will put good players on your team because it thinks you're going to lose otherwise. Does that make sense? This is how Baus actually climbs, because he abuses tanks. This is effectively actually a replica of Baus' strategy, what we're doing here. We're basically spamming OP shit. We have shit KDA, so engagement optimized matchmaking thinks that we're good players. And every single game, you get basically this on your team. Look at this, guys. 8-0 KDA. Do you know what I'm saying? 4.25 KDA. Like, not a single... Like, most of my games, we're just stomping. Like, they are doing the bullshit that you're complaining about. They are writing it down. Look, perfect KDA. 5.0. This guy is not super, but I mean, okay. Again, look in here. Same shit. Like, look at this guy. 15 kills. 13 kills. And look at their team. Like, I mean, their team is just like running it down. They only have one player. You see, so this is mid-gold MMR. This is mid-gold. Right? So what do you do? Like, it's Baus strategy. You just basically run it, kind of, you try to make as little impact as possible so the system puts you into good teams. And the way to do that is, I already explained it, basically try to give all the skills, all the kills, try to do little to no damage, basically, right? Now, farming sometimes is important, but I mean, not when you're playing Mundo, honestly. Not when you're playing Mundo. Okay, so we covered this. Now we're gonna probably talk about gameplay. Okay? So gameplay, as I mentioned before, it's ARAM. Think about ARAM. Okay? What do you do in ARAM? It's consistent team fighting all the time, and you have to protect ADC at all costs. Like, your sole purpose as a top laner, like you see I even play with exhaust, basically. You see I play with exhaust. And the reason for that is because, like, look at my items, you see? I basically evolved to buying Locket of Solari first item because it increases the tankiness of your entire team. And I put Knight's Vow on ADC. Now you're gonna say like, oh, but like Mundo on level 6 with 2 items, you're not gonna kill him. Like level 9, forget about it, you're not gonna kill him. If he ults, impossible to kill. Impossible. And all this time they're trying to kill your ADC burst them, right? You exhaust whatever who is jumping into the ADC, and then you just basically peel for ADC, and that's it. The ADC does the damage. Now this reminds me of, if you ever played Heroes of Might and Magic. Heroes of Might and Magic. Let me just see. Heroes of Might and Magic. Protect. Ranged. They don't show it in here. Let me see. Archers. Heroes 3, I think. Like this. Let's see. Well, let's take an example of this. This would be a good example. So, okay. So look, you see the field. Copy image address. Let's do this. All right. So look, these are the archers. So what you normally do is you see those like pixels in here, like hexagons or whatever they're called. You want to put tanks around them. So when these guys attack, they have to go through the tanks first. There is no way for them to attack your archer without going through the tanks. So Hydra, this is a Hydra, would be a tank. Right? So you ideally want to position 2 Hydras so they completely cover. So there's no way in. So you are effectively running the same strategy in League of Legends, right? Because remember, it's a card game, right? So in essence, it's exactly the same. You have your Twitch in here, you have your Thresh, and you have your Mundo blocking the way. So if some bullshit like Talon is trying to jump on it, he's gonna get caught by Thresh, he's gonna get exhausted, Thresh is gonna receive a shield, do you know what I'm saying? Like Twitch is going to receive a shield. So all you're doing is you're just blocking. You're basically protecting ADC at all costs. At all costs. Now, for this to work, you need ADC to have a lot of gold. Right? So what you do, you funnel gold into ADC. Like you funnel all your gold into ADC. Okay? Now, remember, people are going to tell you, oh, you want to be the, you want the agency, like this guy, I read he wrote like a 3-page essay in response to my video. I read his stuff, right? I know exactly what he's talking about, right? Now, he's like, oh, agency this, agency that. Dude, one thing I learned is, if your team is shit, there is nothing you can do, right? The effort it takes to carry the shitters, the fish, okay, the fish, we call them maybe feeders, is so vast, it's not worth the energy, right? So what are we doing? We are dodging the feeders. We are encouraging engagement optimized matchmaking to put us into teams against the feeders, where ADC is good, where support is not brain dead, where support is not Janna or Nami, where support is Nautilus or Thresh, right? And on that basis, we know that ADC is gonna be good. And I can tell you from my past 5 games, which I won 100% of, ADC knows exactly what he's doing. He knows how to kite, he knows how to escape, he knows how to position, right? Because they are not shitters. Right? This is what I told you in here. This is one of the most important parts. You gotta dodge the shitters. Right? Okay. So on those bases, we're gonna funnel everything into ADC. One way of doing that is obviously your bot lane is probably going to win. Like I'm talking, if you do this correctly, most of my games that I played, past 5 games I played, bot lane always won. So what you do, you ask them to swap with you. Right? Ask ADC and bot lane, to swap with you once they take the bottom turret. Because you see, now they can take 2 turrets. They take down the bottom turret, and now they can take, sometimes they take the bottom turret so fast, there are plates left. Right? I played 2 games where it happened. They stomped the bot lane so hard that there were still plates left. So naturally, I mean, I think it was Twitch that did it. Like, I mean, he got so fat, it was disgusting. So that's what you do. Once they take down the bot turret, you just ask them, go and take, okay. Another thing you do is, if they take turrets, walk away. If they take dragon, and it's secure, walk away. Right? So they get solo gold. Do you understand? Like, because you have to understand, as Mundo, you don't give a shit. You press R, you are unkillable. It doesn't matter whether you have Warmog or not. It will make like very little difference. They're not gonna kill you anyway. Because you have to remember, your team is stomping. So all you have to do is make sure that they are protected. Okay? And that's all you do. You're basically becoming, you're playing like a... Okay, so swap lanes, funnel into ADC. So your gameplay largely consists of being a secondary support, essentially speaking. Right? So what you do is, where's the map? League of Legends map. Yeah, so there's the map. So that's all you do. What's going to be happening is your ADC and support are going to be probably somewhere around either here or here. All you do is you hover in this region. Once the minion wave reaches here, you go, you clear it, and you go back. You literally sometimes just stand there, right? Or, like, the reason why you don't want to go to the lane, you want them to get solo gold, right? And you, I'm telling you, like, Mundo doesn't give a shit about, like, once you get to level 9, you have level 2 ult, and it's just, you can sometimes stand here because you take, like, I take the, if you look at my runes, right, if you look at my runes, I take Overgrowth. Yeah, you see my runes. I just farm with a cleaver from a distance, and then these two runes alone give you so much gold value, it's stupid. Like, it's just stupid. People say, oh, you know, I'll play. Dude, you just stand in the bush and wait for the runes to do the work. That's it, right? Even if you don't farm, you have to understand that this gives you health for free, right? So, when ADC, like, it clears the farm, you get that health for free, right? And you have to remember, like, when you go here, there's gonna be like 3 minion waves stacked, pushing. You're gonna get like shitloads of gold and shitloads of health from just clearing the minion waves. Okay? So your gameplay is basically secondary support, right? So the way you play is you peel for ADC and that's it. Just think about the whole gameplay. In a team fight, you give zero shit who is like killing anything. Your whole purpose, number one, anything else doesn't matter. Peel for the ADC. Peel for the ADC. That's it. Because you have to remember, this guy's not a shitter. He knows what he's doing. So all you have to do is protect him, right? Exhaust, shields, slows, right? Put the Knight's Vow on him, right? Make sure that he is there to do the damage, right? And I'm telling you, Twitch is by far the best ADC in the game. That champ is just, when you watch how he does damage and what he's doing in team fights, it's obnoxious to I have no idea how you counterplay it. No idea. If you play the composition properly like I do and like my teammates do, there is literally nothing they can do. Literally nothing they can do. Alright, so that's the gameplay. What else I need to cover? Okay, yeah, so priorities. Let's talk about priorities, right? Priorities. So stuff that makes no point in doing. Okay? So shit like farming. Irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Taking turrets as a tank, waste of your time. Okay? High priority is winning the team fight. Win the team fight. And we know how to do that. We just peel for... Basically, you're babysitting for the whole game. For 30 minutes, you're babysitting your bot lane. After, like, 10 minutes is the laning phase. After that, you're basically secondary support. Okay? Because, let's say you are... Okay, let's say we're in position where your team wants to take Dragon, right? And you are split between protecting your turret or walking down lane, like walking bot lane and helping with the dragon. Go help the dragon. Right? Like, screw the turret. Doesn't matter. Because that, you have to remember, right? We have to remember. You are playing against fish. Fish will pick Riven They're gonna pick like Camille, all that bullshit, right? Like 1,000 gold on Riven. What is it? What can you buy with 1,000 gold on Riven? 2 long swords, 20 damage. Okay, 20. Mundo gives 0 shit about 20 damage. He doesn't care. Okay, now exhausting Riven and blowing her up in 1 second, and that 1,000 gold does not manifest itself into anything. It doesn't transition into anything. So he is happy that he got his little item that gives him 20 damage. You're happy that you got Dragon. You got kills. You're probably gonna 5v4. You're probably gonna clean up their whole team. Your ADC is gonna get 3 kills, right? And that 20 damage that Riven got will amount to absolutely nothing. Do you understand? Right? Because he is Riven and I am Mundo, right? He's trying to kill Twitch and I'm gonna exhaust him and Twitch is gonna 2-tap him. That's what's gonna happen. Okay? And his little, I don't know, the Ionian boots of haste are not really gonna be there to help him. Okay? Now you have to also remember that the reason why I realized it's an unskilled game was when I watched Viper. Viper was like playing against Alawi. And I shit you not, this Alawi, like they're both for 0-0. Viper had half HP, 50% HP, and Alawi flashed into his turret, pressed R, and Viper died. Like, just think about the gameplay, like skill expression of... Like, Riven, you have to practice your mechanics. You have to practice combos. You have to understand the matchups. Whereas for a tank, it's flash forward, press R, and you are more effective than a dude that's been playing this whole game for his whole life, and he's a professional player. Do you understand how, like, it's a card game? Because there are cards in this game, like Mundo, that, like Singed, that you can practice all you like. I'm gonna press a button and you're gonna disappear. That's it. Okay? Think about Aram. Just think about Aram. And that's it. The game effectively right now is Aram. So farming doesn't matter, backing doesn't matter. If he freezes the lane on you, you don't give a shit. Completely don't care. All you need is levels. Right? And that's it. Makes no difference. You're 100 CS behind against Riven makes no difference. Absolutely no difference. Okay? Alright, so this is pretty much the top lane guide. So for you to pull this off, you need a lot of accounts, because you're going to be dodging like 70 or 60% of your games easily. Right? So, and of course you need to buy shit like Mundo, Singed, Poppy, Urgot, Garen. Like, even Trinda tank is better than AD Trinda, because AD Trinda gets blown up. Okay? Now, note how it's completely different to what the coaches say. I'm talking about like the people who are trying to sell you the courses. What do the course sellers tell you? Course sellers. They tell you, pick a champ that you like. I say nope, you're gonna lose. They say farming is important. I say nope, irrelevant. What do they say? Do not dodge. Dodge is bad. I say nope. Like, you have to remember, in poker, professional players fold 70% of their hands. Let's verify this. How many hands do the pro poker players fold? 75%. So they are only playing 1 in 4 games. 1 in 4 games. I can tell you from my experience, that's roughly what you're going to be doing. You're going to be dodging at least 60%. At least. So you're going to be only playing out of 10, maybe 3 to 4 games. Because you have to remember, you got to get rid of the feeders from your team. You got to get rid of them. You want them to be on the enemy team. You want them to be there. And you also have to abuse engagement optimized matchmaking, so you need to make sure that your damage is low, like this stuff that I talked about. Where is it? Yeah, this one here. Very, very important. Because then engagement optimized matchmaking system thinks you're a shitter, and it puts you into good teams. So you're gonna have players like this Twitch, for example. Where was the Twitch guy? Man, this guy murdered their entire team. Absolutely murdered. Look at him. And actually, I have to say, this champ is not balanced. Lilia, completely busted champ. But you see, because they're serious, they want to win. Olaf Mead, Olaf Mead is not a champ, but I know Olaf is so brain dead. It's such a stupid champ, Olaf, right? Once you get to like 2 or 3 items, this guy is unstoppable. And lo and behold, he went basically 0-6, but we dragged the game on, and he started basically murdering their entire team. Well, he decided to split push. And there was no way to stop him. The guy's 0-6, but the champ is so strong, that he was able to just go into a side and just murder people. 0-6 Olaf. Do you understand? And there's like Coach Curtis, or whatever the hell their names are. He's like, oh, you know, pick Riven, and then with combinations you're going to outplay him. Dude, he's gonna fucking press his R, he's gonna point at you with the mouse, smash his hand into keyboard, and you're gonna melt. That's what's gonna happen. Because the champ is so strong. That's what I'm saying, is that it's a card game. You're playing Riven, you're picking shit cards. Right? I'm playing Mundo, I'm playing Olaf, I'm playing Lilia, I'm playing Twitch. It's overpowered bullshit. Okay? Overpowered bullshit. Alright, so what else are they saying? Farming, dodging is bad. What else are they saying? Oh, they're saying loser's queue doesn't exist. That always gets me. It's all about skill. Said the guy who is a coach and lost 2 games in bronze. I mean, come on. All right. Again, like if engagement optimized matchmaking did not exist, I would not be able to pull this off. Like, there's just no way. And what, are you trying to tell me I'm a good player on Mundo or tanks? I've never played this playstyle. It's completely different to what I'm normally playing. What else are they saying? Oh, don't take all the farm. So you are the agency. Okay, let me tell you something. You are Riven, right? You take all the farm from your ADC. Team fight starts. You get blown up in a second, right? Because Amumu ults, Mundo cleaves you, right? And then, who else would be? And then Aurelian Soul presses R. You're gonna melt and you're gonna disappear from the map instantly. Okay, so you just took all your farm from ADC, who is the only source that can actually carry the game, and you just disappeared from the map in half a second. How is that useful? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, how is that useful? Just use your logic. Like, how does that help? Like, if I were to coach a guy, the first thing I'm gonna ask him, what do you play? He says Riven. I say, okay, why are you playing Riven? He's gonna say, you know, I want to have action, I want to outplay my opponent, I want to do this, I want to do that, like, I want action. I will tell him, my man, League of Legends as a game is not for you. Right? You need to play something different. You need to play something like, I don't know, first-person shooter maybe, fighting game, right? Something like maybe massive, like World of Warcraft, Arena, you know what I mean? Something like that. Because League of Legends is just like it's basically a card game where there is structure in a game, which is you have, like, fundamentally it's very simple. You have AP and AD, and it's surrounded by tanks. And then AP and AD are just dishing out damage, while tanks are just speeding. And that's it. That's the whole game. There is no outplay. There is, like, it's just that you pick overpowered bullshit, and they pick slightly less overpowered bullshit, and you just roll them. And that's it. That's League of Legends. Okay? Fundamentally. Like, what I'm saying is, Like 99.9% of the time, that's what it's like. Up to all the way up to mid grandmaster level. Now, of course, when you talk about challenger, you talk about like professional scene, it could be a little bit different, right? Because there you're talking about people who are like super giga talented, full-time players. You know, they're practicing. Like I said before, do you remember I made a video about how professional players are not better than you? They're just they're a lot more efficient at practicing, right? Because they don't have to deal with engagement optimized matchmaking. They don't have to deal with a lot of shit that just slows you down as a player, right? They can practice very quickly shit that works. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's just like imagine you're a basketball player, right? And you have a rubber ball and you are playing on a playground that has incorrect height of the ring. Like the basketball ring should be 3.5 or 3 meters 5 centimeters height, and you are shooting at something which is like 2 meters and 50 centimeters in height. I mean, you're just wasting your time because you're not really practicing correct height of the ring, right? And you have to run around, pick up your ball, and you're practicing, let's say, somewhere in Eastern Europe where sometimes your hands are too cold, sometimes they're too warm, right? Sometimes even like the temperature and the weather, right? It affects how your body operates. And now compare that to a rich kid whose father built him a basketball gym. He has proper equipment, proper ball, correct height of the ring, and he has training partners who pass him the ball. He doesn't have to pick it up himself, and they are recording his shots and how many he scored and how many he missed. Now he is just in a, even though you might be more talented than him, he will be a superior player to you because of the conditions in which he operates. Does that make sense? Right, so I'm just saying that, you know, this is not really applicable to you at the moment, right? If you're some kind of prodigy, you know, like, fair play to you. But if you're like most of the guys who, you know, come from work, they have college, League of Legends is not their priority, you will not be in this category, right? So you are going to be playing this effectively, right? So I think that's about it. Yeah. So the reason why, like, I mean, this strat works is because I'm basically looking for a strategy where I can guarantee 100% win rate, right? Where I can go into the game and know I'm going to win it. And this is the strategy. This is it, right? Again, the top priority are overpowered bullshit. Like, to summarize, you need to play overpowered bullshit. That's, everybody says that, including the guys in here, right? I heard it multiple times. You need to dodge shit compositions. I'm talking about, like, even LS coach says that, you know, he dodges himself a lot. Try to have as little impact as possible so you game the algorithm, like, so it thinks that you're a shitter, right? And for gameplay, you are secondary support for ADC, and ADC is he is going to carry, you just peel for him, and that's it. So funnel all of your gold into ADC, and that's it. Okay? And fundamentally, like, why is dodging is important is because you are looking for feeders to be on the enemy team, and then that's it, you just roll them. Because you have better champions, and that's it. Okay? Take care, bye-bye.